Sharing with you in this video how to master your energy to master your life. And so the reason why I'm recording this video is because what I really believe is that we can walk through life and we can really believe that something happening out there is what's defining our state of peace. And that's really not a good paradigm to walk your life through, because what's happening is that you can genuinely learn to generate your state from within if you have the keys and the tools to do so. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those keys that I found in my life that have actually helped me to come into a space where I can generate my state from within, where I'm not dependent on things happening out there in order to feel some type of way in my life. And so the first thing that I want to share with you in this video that I personally found in my life that has helped me to do this is to understand that what I've come to realize is that the feeling of what you want already exists in the present moment now. And so I want you to actually see the reality of this, because this might sound fancy, this might sound, exciting, but I want you to really come to the present moment right now and realize that that feeling of you having something, it feels the same as how you're going to feel right now in this present moment, like on some level. Of course, like the form is different, like something happening, like there's different, but that like neutral energy of just the present, like the isness of this present moment is just going to be the same. Like there's just this normal connection to the present moment that just is. And you can connect to this not by attaching to a thought or an emotion or focusing on your breath even or something in the present moment, but by becoming conscious of just the existence that is in this present moment now. And I think that from this space, what you'll realize is that having what you want feels the same as not having what you want. It just feels the same. And so the feeling of what you want already exists as the same feeling as you being who you are right now in this present moment. The only difference is that you're just sort of choosing a different timeline that looks a little bit different in the external world. But again, that internal energy, that spiritual sort of connection to who you really are, that's what you want to sort of ground you into the present moment and then make you operate from a space of pure confidence in your life, because you realize that you are who you already want it. You already are who you want to be in your life, and all you have to do is just simply decide on it and then act on it immediately, moment to moment, and then be it, and that's it. It's just that simple. There's nothing else that needs to be done. But the problem is that we have all these blockages and all these resistances in our life that make us believe that it's not that simple. So having this understanding that that feeling of what you want, like having $1 million or having a relationship or having this type of particular job or this friend or whatever it is, right? Like understand that like that feeling exists already within you in this present moment right now. Not as some cliche like oh yeah, that sounds so exciting. No, I'm being serious. Like right now in this present moment, how you feel is going to feel the same as when you have that thing. It's not, you might feel emotional for a moment, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you feel happy, but then when you ground back into just the neutral energy of the present moment, that's how it's going to be. So here's the thing, is that you may as well just feel neutral and then have what you want, or you can feel neutral and not have what you want. Like it's up to you really. So it's like when you see that life just is what it is, you can just choose what you want, not from a space of neediness, but just genuine desire and want. And then so the second thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how I found to actually do this, how to actually master your energy to master your life, is to understand that what you want to start to do, not that I can choose your values for you, but I highly invite and encourage you to do this, is to fearlessly value your spiritual connection to the truth. And so what this means is that you want to just try to put it as the first priority in your life over anything, over your family, over your money, over your relationships, over anything happening in the external. Because what's going to happen is that if you want to be the best person for your family, if you want to be the best person in your relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is, in your relationships, like in your friendships, whatever kind of relationships are happening in your life, if you want to be the best, you can't sacrifice your connection to who you really are. That has to be one of your top values, because if you let that go as a value, what's going to happen is that you're going to become a people pleaser. You're going to become a people pleaser, and you're only going to live for other people, which although is technically a very noble path and very respectable, it's not the path that I personally want to choose as my primary path, because I realize that to truly be selfless is not to give from a place of lack, or you believe that you have to give something away from a space of lack in order to be a good person, to be noble and to be a very good person. It's like, why can't you give from a space of pure abundance where you have so much, you give, and then it doesn't affect you? It doesn't affect you to give like that, because when you give from a space of genuine love, and you have enough. You have enough. You want to give because you want the other person to see that they can just receive just because you have enough. Just for them, just because it's like, it's totally for them, but it doesn't affect you like that. So the way to do this is to understand that you can't fake this. You can't try to pretend this or act into this. You have to actually value the truth over anything, which is to value your state of consciousness over what is happening out there in the external world or how things happen. It's to value the things that you do on a moment-to-moment basis, and your values and the actions that you take over the results that you're getting. It's a huge paradigm shift. So instead of being dependent on if your money has a certain revenue, if your business has a certain revenue, what you want to start to do is be attached to what actions are you taking daily. Not necessarily attached to, but more dependent on the actions that you're taking than the results that you're getting. If you're more dependent on the actions that you're taking instead of the results that you're getting, what's going to begin to start to happen is that you're going to start to realize that your spiritual connection to the truth is what mattered from the beginning. It was never about the money. It was never about the relationship. It was never about what was happening out there. It was about how much purity and love can you bring to each moment and what you're doing. How present can you be? How connected to the truth can you be? Because things are not going to look perfect every single time you try to do something. You know what I mean? It's like you can have goals, you can have desires, you can have things that you want, but it's not always going to be perfect. Things are going to look a little bit different each time. But what can begin to happen is that at least you have this sort of consistency behind what you do, because you're not attached to any of it. And that's the true way to, I believe, is enjoy the abundance of this present moment, is to have zero attachment to it. Because if you're attached to it, if you're attached to the present moment, then what's going to happen is that you're going to be afraid of losing it. You can't even fully be there. See, haven't you ever noticed that when the ego starts to really, really amp up a little bit, it's like you're just afraid of losing everything. It's like, oh, what if I lose this? What if I blow this up in my life? And what if that happens? And then you blow it up. And then you lose it, because it's like you're too attached to your mind. You're too attached to the past and the future, and it's like you have to ground into the present moment at some point and realize that your top value should be really to value the truth for what it is, and then what comes after is just a bonus. The abundance of this present moment should be more than enough for you to feel happy. Anything that comes after should be simply a bonus. And then so the final thing that I want to share with you in this video is really to understand that if you want to be able to master your energy, to master your life, I believe that what is of the utmost importance is to learn to work with contrast and resistance, aka negative situations and negative emotions in your life. You want to be able to accept these things for what they are, of course. If a negative emotion pops up in your life, if a negative situation pops up in your life, of course, what I would invite and encourage you to do is to fully accept it. Fully accept it for what it is, fully allow it into your life, but then also you want to eventually take that acceptance, take all that anger, take all that negativity, but then sort of use it and then transmute it towards a greater vision, towards something greater. And then so this is where you can really become a producer in your life, is when you stop attaching to negativity and you see it and you accept it, but then you don't use it as an excuse in terms of why you can't continue. And why you can't do it is it's like, oh, I can't do this now because whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like you take negativity and you actually get excited by it. You start to see negativity as an opportunity, whereas the average person sees negativity and they say like, okay, I can't do this anymore. You see negativity and you say like, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to improve and then to transmute this negative situation into a positive situation. And when I say a positive situation, I don't necessarily mean an exciting emotional rush. I mean ground it back into the present moment. Just see and accept it and love it for a part of existence. And then from that space of acceptance, choose your preference. You know what I mean? It's like wants and desires are completely acceptable and completely okay, but you want to be doing it from a space of zero resistance to the negativity that's happening in your life. And then when this happens, what begins to happen is that you become a powerful creator. So what I invite you to do is to just learn to work with the negative situations that happen in your life. When you have a negative situation that happens in your life, instead of resisting it, why not learn how to take that energy and turn it into something better? Why not take that negative situation and then use it as a reason to take more action? Because why not? Like, look, think about it like this. You can feel upset and then not produce epic results in your life. Okay, or you can feel upset about something and then become a powerful producer and a powerful creator in your life. So it's like you in both realities, you're probably going to feel the same, but at least in the other one, you can choose your preference and choose what you want. And then the irony of it all is that a lot of the times, that's how you heal. That's how you heal the pain, is that you accept it, but then you learn to move forward and move on. And that's the part that people always miss, is how to move forward and how to move on. So when you stop using negative situations as a reason to not be better, as a reason to not improve, what begins to happen is that you just start to become a powerful creator in your life. You no longer attach to being a victim. You no longer attach to complaining about things or thinking about all of the things that are wrong about a situation every single time that something goes wrong. Like, when things go wrong, you look at that situation and you actually find solutions. You're actually able to find solutions. You're actually able to put yourself out of, like, separate yourself from the problem and then be that leader to actually find a solution. Whereas most people, they get too caught up in the problem. You know, they're so lost in the problem. They complain about the problem. They get upset about the problem. They become sort of like entangled in the problem. And then from that space, it's like you're never going to be able to find a solution from that space. If you want to be able to find powerful solutions, you have to learn to work with negativity and learn to work with resistance, which is going to help you to actually become the creator that you actually want to be in your life.